Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope we are all doing well today. Let's get straight into my speech. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. High school, a battleground, one that puts you through the toughest of times. Situations that can almost suffocate you, leaving you at rock bottom. But those harsh circumstances that pressure our minds, the long essays that have us staring blankly at the screen, the complex math problems that give us migraines, the long, sleepless nights spent studying for that huge exam. They all have one thing in common. They push us past our boundaries and give us the resilience, tenacity, experience, and knowledge that we need to succeed in the real world. Our 4 years of high school together have helped me learn lessons that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Lessons that I hope to pass on to my younger brothers and sisters. Lesson number 1, cherish your community. At the beginning of our high school experience, when COVID was at its peak, we spent our days sitting at home, staring at a computer screen for hours on end. During classes, some of us invested our time in YouTube videos, some scrolling on Instagram, and some even sleeping, and one or two paying attention. But even with all those limitations, we still found a ton of ways to make that year historic. I remember the times we were all on call during class. We made loads of memes. We talked so much that the teacher would permanently mute us. I'll admit that was mainly me. We even started a revolution on a Zoom call. Free speech. And of course, our favorite and specialty, Zoom bombing. It was a fun time. When we finally got back to school, we continued our shenanigans. Now able to use our energy to fool around together. We were like letting some test monkeys back into the jungle. There was the Among Us revolution, which I have to shout that one out, that had us spending our days at school running around, acting like hooligans and harassing people we thought were an imposter, a traitor to our class. There was our first and only high school camp, where we spent less than 24 hours at a lighthouse, but we made many unforgettable memories. Through these years, we've created a bond so strong that it feels as if we are truly brothers and sisters. We've grown close to one another and grown with each other. This energy we carry within ourselves is magnetic. It's the thing that makes us feel so intertwined, like one entity. While we have our differences, and trust me, there's a lot, when we're together, we're united and we're strong. We make mistakes as a group, and we learn from them as a group. And we learned a lot because there were tons of mistakes. We face challenges head on and uplift one another, strengthening and supporting our dear brothers and sisters. And that's what I find so unique about this school. When you're here, you don't feel like a stranger to everyone around you. You feel at home. You feel safety and security. You feel as if you are a part of a family of diversity and quality like no other. Lesson number 2, be comfortable with getting uncomfortable. We all love comfort and we naturally sway towards it. But in many instances, comfort can be killer. Winston Churchill once said, "This is no time for ease and comfort. It is time to dare and endure." High school is a time where we are granted a sea of possibilities. Opportunities soar around us, waiting for us to pursue them. Yet too often, we let the fear of discomfort hold us back. Instead of daring to chase our dreams, we settle for what feels easy, giving us only short-lived satisfaction. I used to be a prime example of this. I was lazy, I was a huge procrastinator, and I hated escaping my comfort zone. I always shied away from a challenge because I was afraid of it. I was afraid of the struggle I'd have to go through to accomplish my task. I was afraid of not being good enough, of failing. I underestimated myself and my abilities, and I mentally suppressed myself and diminished my strengths. It took me 4 years of high school, 4 years, to realize that these times of challenge and adversity are opportunities for me to grow and shine, and I must take advantage of them whenever I can. So for you students, my younger brothers and sisters, as you move forward in this high school experience and life in general, remember that the path to success is rarely comfortable, but it's always worth it. So be brave, take risks, and embrace the discomfort, because it's in those moments of challenge that we find our greatest strengths. Finally, lesson number 3. Learn from your mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's bound to happen. I mean, our class made a ton of mistakes. But that's not the point. The problem isn't the mistake. It's when it's repeated over and over again to the point where you can no longer even consider it one, but rather a flaw that is a part of you. In my middle to high school years, I made countless mistakes. Some by myself, some with my friends, encouraging each other to do some of the funnest, but also, I would say, dumbest stuff. I was known as the troublemaker, the one who did all the crazy, immature, and unfortunately disrespectful things. Every time I'd go to the office, I'd feel regret for my actions. I beat myself up about it. And I invested my time in focusing solely on my mistake, but that was the mistake. I failed to see that soaking in regret over my faults and errors would get me nowhere. Of course, it's good to feel regretful, but what's more important is to use that remorse as a fuel for your improvement. The process is time-consuming, and it is difficult. But what can help you get to that point is by first understanding what you did, why what you did is wrong, how what you did affects others, and using that awareness by catching yourself and holding yourself accountable. There's a valuable lesson in every mistake, and that is what makes them so beautiful. Think of a clam in the ocean. When a grain of sand slips inside its shell, it's an irritating mistake, an unwelcome intruder. But over time, the clam will create a beautiful pearl out of that sand. Likewise, our mistakes may initially cause discomfort, but if we respond to them wisely, they can transform into valuable lessons, adding beauty and wisdom to our lives. I stand here today, and I believe that I can speak on behalf of all my fellow classmates, my brothers and sisters, when I say that this high school experience was one amazing ride, and we wouldn't have it any other way. The way we grew with each other and created this unique and intoxicating atmosphere is really something special. For those of you who are still on this journey, I hope that you can use these lessons to help navigate yourselves through this battlefield and through the many twists and turns of life. Remember that there will always be turmoil wherever you go, and no matter how extreme it may seem, be fearless and face it head on. And most importantly, hold your faith tightly and let it guide your way. And to my class, guys, we have no clue what's going to happen in the future. We can't predict anything. But I've seen enough of us, of our characters, our determination to push forward, of our failures and the successes we turn them into. of our headstrong attitudes and our unwillingness to give in to the pressure. That I know whatever happens to us in our future, whether near or far, we have what it takes to reach the potential that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us all and lead a life that is both materially successful, obviously we all want to get some cheddar, and spiritually successful. We've already left our mark on Rise. Now let's go make our mark on the world. Salawat. Sorry, one second. I apologize for taking so much time. We Falahatis, as you know, love our spotlight. But now what I want to do is I want to direct the spotlight towards our teachers and our caregivers, our admin and our staff, the people who supported us, who are our backbone, who helped us through this experience, through our tough times and our struggles. First off, I want to thank all the teachers. Specifically, I want to thank, first off, our beloved principal, Miss Nazira, for being caring, for being kind, for listening to us, and really showing us that she cares when we came to her with all our different troubles. I want to thank Maulana Abdi, Sheikh Salim, thank you so much for being our spiritual leaders. Maulana Abdi, thank you so much for always having a smile on your face, for always making us smile. Sheikh Salim, I wanna just say, the first time I had an encounter with Sheikh Salim, it was when we were praying, and I remember Sheikh Salim was praying Farada, and I could just hear him praying, and the way that he prayed was so inspiring to me. That first moment, that first encounter that I had with him, I'm like, wow, that is one beautiful prayer. So please give him a round of applause. And finally, I want to thank my personal favorite teacher, my mentor, the person who I believe I was the closest to throughout my high school experience, and that is Brother Talabi. Brother Talabi has always been my favorite teacher. First off, just the math that he would teach us, amazing. And the one thing that I loved so much, actually there's a few things. First off, he always had a smile on his face. He always made us happy. But most importantly, he gave us that inspiration. He gave us that power inside. Even when we didn't believe in ourselves, he believed in us. He believed that we could succeed. Please recite